Hello and welcome, and today I decided I should probably get my thoughts down about GTA V. And you might be asking yourself, but Wiggin, this game came out like 2 months ago, or 3 months ago at this point. Why would you bother? And the reason I decided to write it down or talk about it is because it is a big game, and it needs to get talked about. And the reason it took so long is because this is my first GTA 5 game, or GTA game, I'm sorry, and I wanted to make sure I played enough of it and understood enough of the mechanics and the gameplay to actually have a coherent thoughts about the game and figure out what I liked and didn't like about it in depth instead of just, oh, it's pretty, okay, that's it, and not shining lights on any of the flaws or shortcomings that this game definitely has. So, we're going to start off with the positive parts because let's not be negative Nancy. So, first of all, we got a beautiful game. This game is very pretty. I would attribute that mostly to the lighting effects, the sunsets, sunrises, reflections off of vehicles, and objects make this game look fantastic. I have to put a disclaimer here saying that I am running the game at maxed out settings on a GTX 980 with an i7 4790, just in case anybody goes and wants to replicate my experience. I am also getting 60 frames per second pretty much all the time, 55 down to 50 with VSync turned on. The story, another positive here, is the story's interesting. You play as 3 different characters. You got 3 different storylines. These 3 characters have their own backstory, so there is quite a lot of depth to the characters, and there's quite a lot of interactions between the characters, and it's an interesting story. There's some twists, there's some turns, it has ups and downs. It's something worth playing. It's like a decent book. You know, you read it, you're like, all right, cool, it was fun. If you get the game, play the story, it's fun. It's a GTA story. Third thing, functioning multiplayer. Now, from what I understand, and this being my first Grand Theft Auto game, the 4th game did not have any activities to do online. You pretty much just ran around and blew people up in cars and that type of stuff. I guess a lot more role-playing was involved to have staged events or something. In this game, there's quite a decent number of activities to do with your friends, your crew, random people you meet on the internet. We'll go in, put an asterisk there, go into that in the negative section. But there's multiplayer functionality. You can run around. You don't have to just play single player. Also, in correlation to, not correlation, but to bring up a game in the same genre with, that game just escaped my head. Saints Row, there we go. With Saints Row, you could play through the whole Mish story mode co-op, which I wish this game had. I don't know why they didn't. There's 3 playable characters. You could have at least 2 other friends with you. And I understand that not all the characters are on all the missions, blah, blah, blah. But, it'd still be nice to enjoy the story with a friend or 2. And that, unfortunately, is something that I feel Saints Row skipped out on, because you can only get 2 people in Saints Row. This game, you can jump online. Granted, there's no story missions, but you can golf, you can race each other, you can play darts, arm wrestle, a bunch of different activities that are entertaining. Rob stores if you want, go shopping, buy cars, steal cars. Some of the single-player side missions pop up, like somebody needs a car, go steal it for them, or somebody needs a car blown up. And so that is a very fun and exciting part of the game that I really enjoyed. The fourth thing is mod support. Rockstar's been breaking mods, but they finally came out and said you can use them in single player. So that is definitely a plus. Any game you can mess around with in mod, it gets points in my book. You can make guns that shoot cars. You can make the police more realistic. You can make yourself Spider-Man and run around and do stuff like that, or make yourself the Flash. So there's quite a lot of mods. The patches keep inadvertently breaking them. I'm not sure if that's intentional, but it's happening. So mod support is officially okay in single player, as long as Rockstar doesn't keep breaking them. But it seems like the modding community has been keeping up with fixing them, because it definitely adds quite a lot of replayability and added enjoyment to the game in single player. So, moving on to the negatives, because it's a Rockstar game and it's not perfect. Next, we're going to move on to some negatives, because it's a Rockstar game and no Rockstar game is perfect. But the first point on my negative list is, while it's not perfect, it was delayed 6 months on PC. So by the time we actually got to play it, I was expecting it to be more perfect than it is. I can't figure out what they spent the 6 months on. The running joke I've got is that there was one bug that they couldn't figure out how to fix for 6 months, and then they finally figured it out, so they were like, oh, okay, we can move on with this project. But honestly, I can't figure it out. There's so many things that I'll talk about in a minute that make me scratch my head and wonder what the point of their delay was, what they were doing while they delayed it, and what, if any, bonuses we quote-unquote get because of the delay. I know we got the Rockstar editor, and we got our own music, but those things don't necessarily warrant a 6-month delay. So, first of all, technical issues, crashing. There are quite a lot of technical issues that are not well explained. The crashing just happens. I've been dealing with some crashing. Again, not sure if it's specific to the game, because it does it on the desktop. But anyways, the other people are experiencing crashing without turning VSync on, causing resolution issues. The game will just crash with DirectX if you're not using lower than DirectX 11. People are having issues with that. And the problem with that, games crash, that's great. Not really great, but, it happens. It's one of those things we accept. Not every piece of software is going to run bug-free forever. But the main issue is that this game is large and expansive and open world, so when you spent the last 45 minutes doing some mission and halfway through driving to where you're supposed to go, the game crashes and then doesn't save anything that you've just done, you're essentially wasting lots of time redoing things because of the crashing. And I just have to say that is unacceptable, because there's no reason that there should not be some save system in the middle of missions. I guess that could be exploited, but lots of things can be exploited, but still stands that if you get, for each time somebody calls you on the phone or something, it auto-saves, or you've delivered the Coke to the dealer and then you have to go drive and meet someone, well, when you deliver the Coke, it could save, and then that way you, if it crashes while you're next stage, you can go back to that and continue where you were, instead of having to go back 45, an hour and a half worth of game time. So that is definitely a problem. The third thing on my list is feels like a console game. And you might be wondering, but why I say that? Because, they've been working on the PC version since the start of the development of the game. That may be true, but it still feels like a console game. I don't have a controller to verify this, but I did, and people that have had controllers have told me that it plays almost better with a controller. The driving is better, the vehicle movement is better, the much more fluid, much more responsive. The other issue with feeling like a controller is the way the menus are laid out. Having to, press enter, for example, to enter a menu, instead of, spacebar or left-clicking. You gotta press enter to get into the menu, and then to the sub-menu, and then press the arrow keys to navigate the menu. You can use the scroll wheel on some of them. The main menu when you press escape is kind of awkward with, having to tab over to each of those different settings tabs to get to where you want to go, then having to press enter. And since there's no pausing in multiplayer, that provides a problem because you can be killed while you're in the menus. Another gripe I have against the game in general is being killed while you're in the menus in multiplayer. You should maybe, just a suggestion, Rockstar, go into passive mode while you enter the menus automatically. That way you can't be killed. Also, maybe in passive mode while you enter a shop, because getting killed by some idiot driving his car into the clothing store is a bit annoying, especially since you have no idea what's going on other than audio cues, but by that time you usually figure it out. You're dead. So it feels like a console game. The menu, the map, there's no quick, easy way to open the large map where you can set waypoints. Kind of annoying. The UI, I guess, my point being, was not designed for PC. It was designed for console, and they just ported it over. And that's how I feel about a lot of this game, is it was just ported over. And it brings me back to my argument, like, what were they doing for 6 months? Because they were not, making the UI PC-friendly or adding in things that would make us happy, per se. For instance, the M key brings up the quick menu, and that's M by default, and I have not changed it, but it's, way over there on the keyboard to just be able to bring up quick waypoints to, like, your house or something. That seems kind of weird. I know you can rebind them, but just the fact that in general the default key bindings are so obnoxious. Also, F9 and F10 are drop weapons and ammo. Why they're all the way up there, I have no idea. Again, they can be rebound, but it's not the point. The point is they were supposed to be making a PC version of the game. So, I don't know about you guys, but dropping ammo and weapons is kind of important in a game where you shoot things. So I think they would have mapped those to different keys. The scroll wheel, this weapon wheel is utterly atrocious. I don't know what they were thinking as far as that design choice goes. You have to hold tab, which, again, what game uses tab in caps lock? Oh, wait, GTA V does. You gotta hold tab, scroll the wheel around to the weapon you want. And then if you want a sub-weapon inside, you gotta scroll again to get to the sub-weapon inside the menu. So if you have 3 pistols on, you want to use a particular one with a silencer, there's a whole lot of scrolling that's going on. And there's a whole lot of time being wasted as far as navigating the weapon menu. And I think that is, again, I don't know what they were doing. It feels really console-y overall. It leaves a console taste in my mouth, I should say. Moving on. Next problem I've got, shark cards. Now, for some reason, online, and this only pertains to online, so if you don't plan on playing online, don't worry about it, but shark cards. So, microtransactions, I'll put that in air quotes because $100 is not really a microtransaction anymore. You're getting into regular transactions, I suppose. But they let you buy in-game money with the shark card. So you can spend, I think it's $100 for 8 million in-game dollars. And that's it's a bit of an insult, considering we just spent $60 on the game. Some people spent more for pre-orders and stuff. But $60 gets you just the game. No in-game money for online, as far as I am aware. And then they expect you to go spend another $20, $30 to get a couple million so you can go buy cars you want. And a lot of the scaling as far as money rewards from doing the missions in multiplayer don't feel rewarding enough. I just spent, for instance, the other night, I spent like $15K or so on a rocket launcher. I don't remember. Spent a buttload on a rocket launcher because I needed to blow up some airplanes in an airfield. And the rockets themselves cost like $1,000 each, and I had to do the mission 3 times to get it right so that we can finish it. But that's a giant investment, and I think we got like maybe $30,000 out of the mission. It was kind of insulting, and it goes back to the fact that I feel like Rockstar has scaled things, limited things, forcing you to get to the point where you're like, well, dang it, I really want that insert item here. I better go get a shark card and be able to continue playing. like I was before, where it's not a grind. It makes it feel very grindy. And then that ties into my last point, the shark cards, the in-game money. There are tons of hacking going on in the PC version, online at least. People are spawning money, destroying cars. I was personally a victim of someone spawning about $9 million on me. I didn't really like that. I had to go through the Rockstar support, reported the person, then I had to go and bother them for them to remove the hacked money from my account. And that was a whole 3 days that I essentially couldn't play while trying to, get my teeth into the game. So I have resorted to just playing with friends only, and that's quite unfortunate because I'd like to go play with other people because, not all your friends are online all the time and you want to play, get some money, but you run the risk of getting money spawned on you. Or worse, there was some other new hack that came out that let people or hackers unlock all the items for you instantaneously, and due to the quote-unquote new Rockstar anti-cheat system they have in place, would trigger that because it picked up on the player unlocking everything instantaneously, and so essentially innocent people who were getting banned because of something hackers did to them. And that's astonishingly astounding and astonishing that is permitted to take place in a game in today's environment. I don't know if Rockstar, what their whole deal is with the online. They're still putting out content for the game in general, and they also have the shark card, so you would think they want to improve their security as far as hackers go. But they don't. It's rampant. You have no idea if the lobby you're going into with random people has a bunch of hackers, and then the hackers' excuse that I've read is, well, the shark cards are dumb, and I'm like, alright, the shark cards are not cool, but ruining other innocent players' experience because you're mad at Rockstar is a bit of a rude and immature thing to do. So the hacking needs to get fixed, and the cheating needs to get fixed, because it is not an inclusive environment to play in, which is unfortunate. As I said, I'd like to get online, get some playing with other people, meet some people, expand the crew a little bit, but that is still a problem. So overall, what do I think about GTA V? It's pretty awesome. In the scheme of things, when it's running, not crashing, and working, and you're having fun with your friends or in single player running around blowing up the cops, it's fun. It is definitely something that everyone should play at some point. Is it worth $60? That's debatable. If you want to get in on the ground floor of the PC people with, experiencing stuff, they've got the July update I hope is coming back this year, because I want the musket rifle you can't get except on July the 1st or 4th, which I would have thought they would have added into the game on the PC release, but they did not. So anyways, so keeping up for that. But if you're just interested in the story, I would definitely wait for it to drop. And if you have friends, then I would suggest playing multiplayer with those people. That way you can trust them. You're not going to get, money spawned on you. So if you are gung-ho and holding out for a sale, then that's fine. You're more than welcome to hold on to the sale. It is a fun game. It looks pretty. When it runs well. And I hope Rockstar can just to keep updating it and allowing for more mods and perhaps some privately hosted servers. But we'll see. We'll see what Rockstar has to say about that. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more of my opinions on video games, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more videos. As always, thanks for watching.
The Curious Gamers is all you need in a game.